Just watch this. This bad boy rolls free and easy. And if you look at this, this is rough turf. You get in those smaller diameter wheels, they're just not going to do it. But this guy supports the gate, takes the stress off the hinge, and rolls nice and easy, and it's going to last a really long time. This is a typical 15-foot tubular steel cattle gate, the type that you're going to find just about anywhere. One of the things you're going to notice is that it's dipping at this end and it's going to drag on the ground, and at this end it's putting stress on the hinges. Even if we had a properly built inside post, over time the weight of the gate and the fact that it's cantilevered and it's so long, this would eventually start to dip. The quick short-term fix is to unhinge the gate, back out the lower hinge, and tighten up the upper hinge a little bit, and that will be able to get the gate to hang fairly level and swing fairly easily, although there's still going to be a lot of stress on the hinges because of the weight and the length of the gate. If you live in an area of the country that gets decent rainfall and you have poor drainage, no matter how your gate is built, eventually you're going to have some deflection. A couple ways to solve this problem might quickly come to mind. Number one would be one of these little gate wheels that fixes to the bottom tubular rail of the gate, or possibly a gate caster like this one that would fit to the end post of the gate. This little 6-inch gate wheel that mounts to the bottom horizontal tube of the gate could work on a paved or prepared surface, but has a couple limitations. First one, of course, is if the gate is high off the ground, you can only go so high with this, and then you're out of adjustment. And second, it can only clamp so tight to that bottom rail. In other words, you got a heavy gate and this is at the end, this thing is going to twist, or you're going to end up crushing the lower tube. Either one of those scenarios is not desirable. By definition, a caster has a ball bearing swivel so the wheel can rotate 360 degrees around a vertical axis. This is fine over a prepared surface such as pavement or packed gravel, that type of thing. But if it gets caught in a little bit of a rut or irregularity in the ground surface, you could have a real problem moving the gate. Finally, we move up to the ultimate long-term solution, and that's Tech Team's number 768 face mount gate wheel. Tech Team also makes number 767, which is an end mount, but for this particular application, since that needs 7 inches of clearance, we don't have enough room for it to fit here, so we need to go to the face mount. It's only going to take 8 to 10 minutes to get this bad boy installed here. One of the first steps in installing this gate wheel is to relieve the tension on the gate so that the hinges are in a neutral position. And to do that, you're going to need to elevate the end of the gate. And there are a lot of ways to do that. You can use a block of wood and some type of a lever, 2x4 or something else, but we found that a floor jack is the easiest and best way to do this, so we can just move it up and down incrementally and get it exactly perfect. And then we use a magnetic level on the bar so that we can get this just the way we want it. Trust me when I say that installing this is not rocket science. It just takes a few minutes and a 14mm wrench. One thing you're going to see is that the Tech Team has supplied these really neat clamps. They're flat on the inside, so they go right around the radius of the tube and make a good secure grip without pinching the tubing. And then on the other side of the clamp there's this saddle that goes right against the back plate of the wheel and securely grips the steel tube. Okay, we've got the gate at the height that we want it. We've got our clamps in place, so now it's just a matter of lining up the mounting plate and tightening the clamps. What you see here is that I've mounted the 3 clamps and I've loosely fixed the nuts on the other side of them. This gives me the opportunity to work my jack up and down, watch my level, get this thing right where I want it. And then when I have it there, I take my 14mm wrench and I tighten this down. But before I do that, I need to square the wheel to the fence. Squaring the wheel to the front of the fence is an easy process. You just need a square like this, and you just pull your wheel over to get it right here, and now you got it exactly right. The reason we want this to be perpendicular to the long axis of the fence is so that it tracks evenly and smoothly and doesn't bind. We hand tighten everything, and now we take our 14mm wrench and we tighten these guys up. Okay, now we got this snugged up and we're pretty much good to go. Because we have these 3 clamps that give a really good grip, you don't have to tighten them too tight to get a really good grip on your fence and not worry about pinching the tubing. Okay, now we drop our jack, just like that. Get our stuff out of the way, and we see how this guy works. Okay, now what's so great about this? Outside of the fact that this thing is built like a Sherman tank, has a 16-inch flat free wheel that's going to roll any place, anytime, and if you had a flat tire on a pneumatic wheel in the dead of winter, you'd know how important that is. Just watch this. This bad boy rolls free and easy. And if you look at this, this is rough turf. You get in those smaller diameter wheels, they're just not going to do it. But this guy supports the gate, takes the stress off the hinge, and rolls nice and easy, and it's going to last a really long time. If you're a typical livestock farmer, your family history probably goes back 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even more generations. What this means is you've dealt with gates for a long time, and you're going to know the difference between a good way of supporting that gate and something that's not going to cut it. You're probably very familiar with the typical inexpensive, narrow 6 or 8 inch gate wheel in a stamped steel bracket. These work for a while, but ultimately they're not a long-term solution. When you have a gate that's dragging and you need to use that gate, you need something that's going to work first time and every time. To say the least, the Tech Team number 768 face mount gate wheel is overbuilt. The wheel is a full 16 inches diameter, has a heavy-duty steel hub, has 2 ball bearings, one on each side here, and it's flat free. And what that means is even in the dead of winter, you don't have to worry about a flat tire. This guy's going to work. When I say this guy is heavy duty and overbuilt, you just have to take a look at the steel housing. The mounting bracket is not your typical inexpensive stamped steel bracket with an inexpensive painted finish. It has a 96-hour salt spray rated zinc plated finish. Our bracket is a major piece of steel fabrication. In fact, if you measure it right here, you can see that it's in excess of 6 millimeters thick, and it weighs 10.5 pounds. That's not the whole thing, that's just this bracket all by itself. There are no stampings here. This is heavy carbon steel plate, and as you can see right here, everything is precision, robotically welded for maximum strength. Every aspect of this product has been both designed and built to provide maximum performance and maximum longevity. Even the axle is a full 16 millimeter diameter. Assembly and disassembly is a snap. Just line up your wheel, put your axle through on the other side, tighten your crown nut, take your cotter pin and stick it through the hole in the end of the axle, and you're good to go. Just to be clear, and so that you get the right wheel for your gate, this is our 767, which is our end mount gate wheel, and for this you need 7 inches of clearance between the gate post and the gate. This is our number 768, which is a face mount gate wheel, which mounts right to the front of your gate, and it doesn't matter what the clearance is between the gate and the post.